Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janabalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janabalabha Gopi Janabalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janabalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parashakacharya Shtatar Saraswati A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Nitai Sachisuta ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Shabhadra ki, Shri Shri Radha Parasishwara ki, Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Marathon ki, a Golda Premanandi, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to Sri Guru and Guru, all glorious to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Bidaya Krishna Vastaya Kalesha Mati. Is there anything on the Vaishnava calendar today?
No.
Nothing. Not that we know of.
And there may be.
Pardon? There's definitely, every moment is an event, a celebration, remembrance, glorification of a pastime of the Lord or some great devotee of the Lord, without a doubt. Every moment of Srila Prabhupada's life is glorious. It should be glorified or spread all over the world. So we're reading a text number 18, I think 18 onwards today, is that right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I'll make it easy for you, huh?
Maharaj, yesterday we did 15. Today we have to read 16 and 17 per 16 translations.
No, I did 17 yesterday.
Oh, you did 17?
I did 17,
I
yeah.
wrote 15.
Well, no, I did 17. I did 15, 16, 17. It was the purport was just a repeat of the verse. It didn't really say anything more than the verse. So I went on to 17. And so I'll go on from 18. It's not on the board. I'll just read it through. Stannadvayam chatikrishchodari samang nirantaram chandana kunkumokshitam tatastato nupara valgu shinjitair visarpati hemalate vasalababo. So this is a description of the goddess of fortune. Isn't it amazing how we become captivated by her sort of, you could say, her energetic expansions in the form of other beauties of this world or opulences of this world, so to speak. In this dreamlike world that we're in, we become relatively attracted to things which look better than others. But actually, they're all, probably uses the word abominable, horrible, but they appear to those who know nothing else as very beautiful. Whether it's the beautiful form of a woman, or a scenery, or a handsome man, or the personality of a person in this world, whatever it may be, an animal, it could be anything. We're attracted to it. Money, gold, these things are drawing our attention like anything. The shops now full of things for Christmas. People are fascinated to buy things, isn't it? The latest something or another, the latest rubbish, and they advertise it very nicely, and people are mad. They're attracted to McDonald's, Burger King, right? They spend lots of money there buying something, and this is what they think they're happy. Material world. All captivated, trying to enjoy the goddess of fortune. And here's a further description of the goddess of fortune And we can see how, originally speaking, it's not surprising. People without Krishna consciousness, they're going to, by nature, the soul has to be attracted. It's the nature of the soul. Something or another. Yeah. So we're attracted to the reflective energy of God. Her two breasts, which were symmetrical and nicely situated, were covered with sandalwood pulp and kumkum powder, and her waist was very thin. As she walked here and there, her ankle bells jingling softly, she appeared like a creeper of gold. Whew. We can't imagine. Easy to hear about it, but to visualize or to actually experience such a thing. But people also become like that. They see their girlfriend, their boyfriend, as being like the goddess of fortune or God or something or another. Absolutely. I remember one time I was on a railway station in England, and there were two, man and woman. They were, I don't know if it's the right word to use. They were what we used to call deformed. They were physically, not in shape. Their features, everything was very, to me, I mean, what can I say? It was not at all attractive. But they were just all over each other. Oh, darling, you're so beautiful. It was like incredible how Maya covers the intelligence of the living entity. I guess pigs look at each other as beautiful too. I don't know. Oh, my beautiful wife. You grunt so sweetly. Oh, what a grunt. I've never heard such a grunt in all my life. And your smell is so, it's irresistible smell. I don't know. And your tail is just out of this world. Your nose. Oh, I can't live without your nose. I don't know what people think, but it was just amazing to watch the interaction, that they were seeing each other as beautiful. And what can you say? The infatuation of Maya, of lust, so overwhelming. But the whole world is like that. Maybe relatively seen as more or less more beautiful, but the whole world is in this condition. Well, how do they get there? Text 18, text 19. So they see their beloved as like a creeper of gold, a reservoir of pleasure. My life resounds about it. Everything, the whole life is just captivated. This powerful Maya. Everyone's affected. Only Nara and Rishi said. Otherwise, everyone's can be. Even we see, even in this particular pastime, how later on when Mohini Murti appears, even Lord Shiva, of course, it's an expansion of Krishna, but in one sense, even Lord Shiva is attracted to that beautiful form. Well, to speak of us, Lord Brahma was attracted to his daughter, at least at one stage of his life. Very hard not to be. Maya is very powerful. Impossible to overcome unless we become attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna, the source of all beauty, the source of all power, of all everything, all attraction, all opulence. God is unfortunately like an expansion of his opulent quality. So we'll go on to text 19. Vilokayanti virvadyamatmana padam dhruvam chavya pichari sadgunan gandharva siddhasura yaksha charana Tripishtopeyarishu nanvanavindata. While walking among the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, Siddhas, Charanas, and denizens of heaven, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, was scrutinizingly examining them. But she could not find anyone naturally endowed with all good qualities. There's another feature of the goddess of fortune, and she's known as Chanchala. She's very flickering, huh? She doesn't stay with anyone for long. She's not really attracted to anyone in this world at all. You know, maybe a few flirting moments. But, and then it's gone. And we were hearing our musician downtown again yesterday singing, huh? That Spanish, or whatever he is, gentleman, singing away how he's lamenting because his girlfriend disappeared or didn't turn up or something. Still, every day, what a life. The life is one of lamentation. Anyway, that's a famous song, apparently. None of them was devoid of faults, and therefore she could not take shelter of any of them. You know. So Prabhupada said in Paris, of course, when he was here, when he was stalling Radha Parasishwar, he said, you know, because Paris is famous for
Girls. Beautiful girls.
Beautiful girls, so they say. Huh? So therefore, here in Paris, Radharani is the most beautiful. Otherwise, Krishna might disappear downtown. So she's so beautiful here that he will not leave. He's the reservoir. We may not be able to see with our contaminated eyes. Shri Krishna Namadi, what can we see with our blunt senses? But she is the most beautiful. But it's not our business to, you know, sometimes even that. Sometimes that's why we don't go deep into Rasa Leela and other such pastimes, because it can evoke in a conditioned soul the wrong impression. Huh? We start feeling sexual inclinations of some kind in the wrong direction. So these things are the same with, even sometimes, maybe not very often, but sometimes that even happens in amongst devotees with deities even. But she's the most beautiful to track career. The whole point is that. That's the whole point of Krishna consciousness. Why we do what we do is because it's meant to bring pleasure to Krishna. Why do the gopis dress beautifully? Not because they want to, you know, they're not like on a material trip trying to win material sense enjoyment from their partner. No, because it brings pleasure to Krishna. That's their only motive. Their only motive. So a devotee does what they do only because it brings pleasure to Krishna. They dress the way they do because it brings pleasure to Krishna. We may not know how that, therefore we hear from pure devotees how we at our stage can bring pleasure to Krishna. Just like, for instance, simple thing like wearing tilak, so what? You can wear or not wear. But we know, or at least we hear from pure devotees, it brings pleasure to Krishna when he sees, in this world particularly and anywhere, devotees with tilak on. It's pleasing to Krishna. If it's not, if you're not wearing tilak, you're going to work or something, that's understood. But otherwise, you know, we try to do that which is pleasing to Krishna in our everyday. We eat food which is pleasing to Krishna. We don't just go into Burger King and order a vegetarian burger, do we? I hope not. Prabhu, I'm hungry. It's vegetarian, I think. Isn't it? Well, maybe. Well, I asked for a vegetarian one. Yeah. Sometimes devotees, whatever. We shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. You know. Want to eat that which is pleasing to Krishna. Cook. We cook in the way that's pleasing to Krishna, right? Don't just go in there and cook what you like. Maybe some of us do. But really we're meant to cook what is pleasing to Krishna. Krishna does like lasagna, by the way. We asked him last night if he liked lasagna. He said, yes, I love lasagna. Was it good? You didn't take any? Have you got some for this morning? They didn't save you any. Vidura, where's Vidura? Left. Ah, that's why he left. He ran away quickly. Didn't find out what the reaction was. Did anyone take the lasagna? Yeah. Was it okay? Yeah, so amazing. It was good, okay. That's a relief. Great. Oh, where are we? She wouldn't take shelter of any of them. Nothing in this world attracts her. Yet everyone's attracted to her. The goddess of fortune, Prabhupada writes, Lakshmi Devi, having been generated from the ocean of milk, she existed before that, she's appeared in that way, was the daughter of the ocean. Isn't it the fallacy that people have? They think they're created by so-and-so. Okay, through the process of, conception and pregnancy and so on, a body is developed and a spirit soul enters into that particular body, and so on and so forth. But without spiritual knowledge, people think they're created like a scorpion. The mother lays the eggs in rice, Prabhupada gives the example of, lays the eggs in rice and goes away, and the scorpion egg hatches. I don't know how it works, but apparently it does. And you may think, oh, the scorpion is born of rice, born from rice. But not really, it's just the environment. You could say he was born in a laboratory. I believe they have now test tube babies, is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever met one?
No.
Are they living? I mean, what type of people are they, the test tube babies? They talk about it. I've never heard where they're at, what they do, or what's going on there. I guess they're living, I don't know.
They're just providing the environment.
They provide the same environment, more or less, as a womb, but they don't create the sperm.
Yeah, they have to take it.
Take the sperm from a living being.
Yeah.
It's not a total test tube baby, it's just an environmental circumstance. Yeah. But I've never met someone who's born in as a test tube baby, so I don't know what it's like. I'm sure there must be some around. Not very common. You don't hear about it so much. I don't think you do anyway. I don't know. But they can't do it. They may say, I'm born from a test tube. Who's your mother? A test tube.
I've heard that these children tend to more mix between them and not with them.
They do what?
Like they tend to more be drawn towards each other.
Is it?
Not towards...
Not towards people who are not in test tubes.
Yeah.
Okay. Phew. I love the test tube. Yeah, psychologically, can you imagine? We've taken away God's arrangement so many times here. It's like even being born in a hospital is so unnatural. So unnatural. But who's not born in a hospital these days? Almost everyone, isn't it? In Malaysia, it's almost against the law. Many countries, you have to be born in a hospital. Many times they threaten you, if you don't have a cesarean operation, you may lose your baby. You have to pay for it too, by the way. It's a policy in many places. See how unnatural. Imagine how, some of you, maybe, I don't know. It's just the way the world is, been born in such a way. But it's totally unnatural. Having your mother's womb cut open, coming out, it's totally unnatural. We're living in such an unnatural environment. It's no wonder people feel what do we say, incompatible with the situation. They're feeling so distressed with the world around us. You start right from the word go. There's no proper rituals, certainly there's no samskaras performed for babies these days. Maybe a few Hindus do a few things, but not properly. They do improper things and they try to counter it with some ritual of some kind, but it's not. You understand? It makes sense? And you're born in an environment where you're surrounded by all kinds of nonsense sounds and parents arguing. Maybe they don't even know the father is, maybe. In the case of a test tube, we may not even have a mother, It's a weird situation. It's not natural. God has created a wonderful arrangement for opportunity for human beings to live happily in this world to some extent and to progress spiritually. But they're missing the opportunity. And then, the child comes out, immediately, boom, into a hellish situation, basically speaking. Horrible situation. They don't breastfeed the kids anymore, in many cases. They're born in a hospital. Sometimes they even get them mixed up. You take home someone else's baby. Sometimes, not very often. They put numbers on the babies, They don't think they put something in the ear like the calves, they stick something in there. But they number sometimes it gets muddled up, They're all there like, in a shop or something, hundreds of babies, all cops or whatever it is. Dreadful environment, in one sense. But that's the way it goes these days. No mid-nurses. We used to have mid-nurses. You know the mid-nurses?
Yeah.
A lady who helps deliver the baby. Mostly it's grandmothers who are the mid-nurses. They would do it. Probably in India it's still the same thing. The granny is there to help deliver the baby, or auntie or somebody who knows. You don't need all this stuff. So in that sense I was lucky. I was born in the front room of our house. I never went to hospital. It has a psychological effect on the child. It has a psychological effect on the child, being born in a hospital. It does. I was told that by one doctor, doctor of psychology. Many things are like that, isn't it? Being exposed to unnatural things all along our lives is not surprising. People are so disturbed or so bewildered about the purpose of life. They're not only born in a crazy environment, but their life is a crazy environment. Everything about it. I've got a light on here. Is that the Brahman? I see the light. I'm on mobile. I'm seeing the light. It's blazing light. Please remove that effulgence so I can see my mobile. I'll finish the purport before getting into too much trouble here. She was born from the ocean of milk and was the daughter of the ocean. Thus she was allowed to select her own husband in a Swayamvara ceremony. The high-class ladies in traditional, particularly Kshatriya ladies, they may well, princesses, have a Swayamvara where they can choose their suitor, their future husband. All the big Kshatriyas are there trying to show off their beauty and their strength and their courage and whatever else they've got. Expertise. And then she chooses. This is usually for high-class princesses, not for everyone on the street. But they would have this opportunity. They were very intelligent ladies also. They were very intelligent. So she is, of course, the most intelligent lady. She's in a Swayamvara. She's going to choose her husband. All the Gandharvas are there. The heavenly Gandharvas, the singers, the Yakshas, powerful Yakshas, the Asuras, the Siddhas, the even powerful mystics are there. Charanas, denizens of heaven, demigods, they're all there. Choose who you want. And they're all hoping she's going to choose me. Yes. It's another trick of the material world, isn't it? Gambling. We hope it's going to be me. I thought it was me yesterday. What was it? Mahananda, were you with me when I looked on it said, thank you very much, you are the 5 billionth something or another. Maybe it was Gauranga Prema who was with me. It came up on the screen. I can't remember what I did. Oh, was it a sum up? It was a sum up. I did something on sum up yesterday here in the temple. And it came up, congratulations, you are the 5 billionth person to sum up. So I thought, oh, great, I'm going to get a reward. 5 billion, that's quite a figure, isn't it? But nothing happened. They probably said that to 5 billion people. We all think it's me. I'm going to be that one. I will gamble. I will put my money on it. Surely I'll win. There's a chance I'll win. And if I win, I will be the happiest person in the world. I will be rich. I can enjoy. I can come to Paris. I can stay in the Egg Hotel in Paris. You know, that's the 5-star hotel, the Egg Hotel. Did you know that? You stayed there last night? Did you stay in the Egg? That's the most opulent hotel around here. It's 5-star. We can, if it's too expensive, we can put you in the 1-star hotel if you like. There's some tents right next to Garj Sastel, isn't it? 1 star. Yeah, this is the area of Paris which is not known for its opulence. But we think, oh, somehow or another, it'll be me. I used to dream about being international football player. I'm going to make it, you know. I'm going to be. Listen, so many kids dream like that, huh? They want to be international cricket players in India. You boys are from India. Huh? Perhaps when you were kids you were thinking, I can be a, I don't know the names of cricket players, but some famous cricket star, you know, who worship him. And, you know, they have puja in Tamil Nadu. They actually have puja. They actually do worship to the cricket players. They do a whole ceremonies, especially not only in Tamil Nadu, all over India. They worship them. They're like, you know, they're like avatars. They're not just demigods. Cricket avatars. Crooked or cricket? Cricket, not crooked. Crooked avatars. I was in Tamil Nadu on Padayatra, oh God, 1980s, something, 90s, when it first started. And they were worshipping some film star. You know, they had a temple with him in there. They said he was an incarnation of Ramchandra. They had a temple with him, you know, a deity of him in the temple itself. This meat-eating drunkard, and they're worshipping like Ramchandra. Big things all over the streets, you know, with dressed up, with like Krishna, with a peacock feather and a flute. Oh, madness, absolute insanity. And people are so materialistic, they have no idea what is spirit and what is matter. And what to say about the goddess of fortune. She examined every one of the candidates, but she could not find anyone suitably qualified to be her shelter. She doesn't find shelter in this world. That's why she's flickering. She doesn't stay anywhere very long. You don't keep it. Even beauty. How long does beauty last? How long does it last? Come on. You're all young. It's a relative thing, but you know, I mean, everything's relative. Some people see different stages, things are beautiful, whatever. But the beauty of youth usually is like, you know, teenage years, late teens, early 20s are like usually the most beautiful, considered the most beautiful time in terms of physical form. But how long does it last? I mean, when you're, I don't know, who's a famous beauty queen in France? What's her name? Brigitte Bardot, is it? Is she supposed, was she beautiful or what? How old is she now?
70, 60.
70, 60. Now, older, I don't know what she looks like. I guess she's relatively better than others at the same age, but she's not like she was 40 or 50 years ago. You know, they crinkles, grey hair, because they spend money to try to upgrade their looks. Hundreds of thousands of euros on operations to make themselves still look like a young lady. And all this falsities to make their hair look nice, and upraising their breasts and all kinds of things to try to make them describe their breasts. And when you get old, they're like string beans. They try to upgrade all the items of the body which are so-called attractive. You know, tie up some string around the waist and keeps it together, you know. Doing all kinds of things to try to look good. For God reasons, who knows. But it's not attractive to Krishna, by the way. So, but it may be attractive to some fools of this world. In other words, Narayan, the natural husband of Lakshmi, cannot be superseded by anyone. We all try to compete with Narayan. Ravana. It's Ravana. Ravana. From Ravana comes ravenous. What is ravenous? Ravenous. Do you know what the word ravenous means in English? Uncontrollable lust. Ravenous. I don't know if it came from Ravana, but he certainly had ravenous, he was very ravenous. He couldn't control himself when it came to the goddess of fortune or any opulence of this world. He saw all women meant for his pleasure. All opulence is meant to be his. All power is meant to be his. All fame is meant to be his. All knowledge. He was extremely learned. Very learned. He wasn't just a demon. He was extremely learned. Vedic. He's speaking. He was a tremendous pandit, scholar. He wasn't very renounced. Opulence of the Lord, which is unique. It's very hard for them to stop. It's very hard for people to stop. Very hard for devotees when you get into a rhythm and it's the wrong rhythm. It's very hard to humbly back down because demons lack humility. They lack humility. They cannot admit they're wrong. I was giving a lecture recently. One godbrother said, one of the most uncommon thing amongst politicians and leaders is to say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." They never say it. Never. They have no humility. They do anything to avoid that. And sometimes we're in the same category. We even though it is wrong, we still will not do what we have to do to be honest and to be humble. We'll defend ourselves, we'll avoid it, we'll try some other method, whatever it is. So this humility is totally lacking. Lakshmi Devi is not attracted really to anyone who doesn't have the qualities of Lord Narayan. And nobody has those qualities, maybe to a slight extent. So she bestows her mercy upon those devotees who are developing the qualities of pure devotion to Lord Narayan or Krishna. And she's attracted in different ways. Not that she'll give you gold bars and beautiful men and women to enjoy, but in another way, you'll feel complete satisfaction. Whether Krishna consciousness and enter into the spiritual world by the mercy of Radharani, by the mercy of Lakshmi Devi, Sita Devi, all the various expansions of the goddess of fortune. By their mercy, the living entity can return to our constitutional position as the eternal servant of Krishna. And say la vie. So why we go on Sankirtan? To try to please the goddess of fortune. Ultimately Krishna. We go through the goddess of fortune to please Krishna. He's very pleased to see persons returning what belongs to Krishna, or somehow or another doing something in relationship positively to Krishna. So we're finished there. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So you've got no battery left now, you have to charge it probably. Had your torch on for like 20, 30 minutes. Yes, Vaibhav.
Thank you for the wonderful class, Maharaj. So you were sharing about the desire to enjoy lust. So I can see in my life, and most devotees feel also like this, I think, that the desire to enjoy is so much, so intense, I experience in my life, grossly and subtly. It is so intense and is so subtle sometimes. What should I, because knowing all the Shastras, knowing all the knowledge, one thing is that people outside, they don't know. But even knowingly, committing subtly and grossly, whatever, the desire to enjoy, reflected in so many ways, how should I come out of this?
I asked a similar question about a year ago, maybe this year, I can't remember, last year, sometime. I was with Giriraj Maharaj, and we were talking. I asked him a similar question because it's it's a reality. It's not a common thing that you may say, but it's a reality that pretty much everybody is faced with. It may be in different ways, it may be to different degrees, but it's pretty much a common denominator amongst everyone who's not a pure devotee of the Lord. Absolutely pure devotee of the Lord. That tendency will be there. In the sense that especially, of course, you're living in Paris, so it's much easier here in Paris than, say, if you're living in Vrindavan or India. You know, there's much less sensual attraction in Paris, isn't it? Paris is known as a really self-controlled, mode of goodness city completely. Is that right? Isn't it? Yeah. Everyone is like, self-controlled here. You'll be amazed how much the people are in the mode of goodness in Paris. Right, Mahadevi? She's not sure what I'm talking about here. If that's the mode of goodness, I'd rather stay in the mode of ignorance. No, Paris is notorious, amongst many things, as a city of love, of lust actually, and many other features of the lower modes of nature. So environmentally speaking, in a human society, environment is a very essential feature to help protect people from, let's say, being overly affected by, more than your conditioned situation, by the attraction to the objects of the senses. We have Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has given us Bhagavad Gita. And we ask these questions, they're very relevant. And they say the same thing. Sometimes devotees want to hear high topics about Rasa Leela and this and that, but they can't even control their senses. So we haven't even got past the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita practically. We want to hear, Madhura Kandimini is okay, was it? Govinda Leela and Rita and this one and that one. But we're still groveling with the idea, how can this take place on the battlefield? Something's wrong here. Why are they fighting? What's wrong here? What's all this about? We haven't got past that practically. Speak of the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, second chapter is covering everything, but third chapter, fourth chapter, we're still on the grassroots. So we're trying to pick the fruit, and we hardly surfaced yet. So Bhagavad Gita, you have to study carefully and try to apply it to yourself, not to everyone else on the street only, which is often what we do, isn't it? We preach to them about this, that, and the other, but how much we're living it ourselves is, you know better than I. We have to question ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we don't even remember what we read when we joined the movement in the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita or early chapters. And that's one thing. That which is relevant to your particular situation, we have to hear it. The environment, so as much as possible we try to create an environment which is as Krishna consciousness as we can. Both in our homes, in our temple, if we're in a temple, wherever it is, or when you're walking on the street, wherever you are, you try to create an environmental situation. It's very difficult. You're a working man. It's very hard to create that environment, which is, in any way, a Varnashram system is a God-given system to help protect people from trying to enjoy that which is beyond their quota. But in our modern society, you're pushed out, you don't even know what your quota is, and you're just pushed this way and that by the objects of the senses. They're rammed down you from the moment you come out of the womb, even before, and you're educated in such a way, which is, Prabhupada, as we said the other day, was said, human slaughterhouse. You're the body, you're the enjoyer, it's all Maya, there's no God, whatever it is, you're slaughtered before you start, practically speaking. Very hard for people to come out of that conditioning. You've got your issues because of an unnatural upbringing, which you carry into Krishna consciousness, all your egotistical issues, mental and physical challenges, so many things, and surrounded by persons who are discouraging you from doing what you're doing. And every way, it's a challenge. So we were discussing this a little bit, and I said, well, Maharaj, what can I do? He said, just one word. He just said three words. Cheto Darpana Marjan. There's nothing else. The chanting of the holy name. You have to take it seriously. It's not just something we do, not just something we minimize, not something we're having fun. It's not just something to attract people. No. We have to associate with Krishna. And what does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita? If you do not hear me, you will be lost. You'll be lost. You'll be lost. You have to hear. I know you're serious, you're trying to do that, but we have to, it's just a matter of time. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. So one side, trying to avoid unfavorable situations as much as you can. The mind is already there, so you just keep, as Krishna says, bring the mind back, try to bring it back to, Krishna's attraction to Krishna as much as you can. It'll wander up, you bring it back again. That's just part of the Vaidhi path, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. But you keep doing that, and you try to make an environment which becomes more and more Krishna conscious, more kirtan, more hearing and chanting, more deity association, or whatever it is, books. We try to environmentally change our lives. At the same time, we practically apply the Yuga Dharma Sankirtan process in our lives. A lot of people, they may like the Yuga Dharma in one sense or another, but they don't do anything about the environment. They still continue with their mundane behavior. That'll take a very long time. It's offensive. So it takes a really long time. Both have to be there. Make sense or not? I mean, it sounds easy, and we know it's not so easy, but that's the method. And by the mercy of Lord Nityananda, it is possible. Mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, Even that which is impossible or very difficult can be achieved. So Lord Chaitanya is our saving grace and his representatives. We have to take shelter of them. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj said it's impossible for the jiva to individually overcome the illusion, single-handedly, he used the word single-handedly, overcome the illusion of distraction. It's impossible. Impossible, he said. That's something for your throat. If anyone's got a throat problem, suck one of these. I'll just finish the sentence. It's impossible, he said. You can't do it. Maya is very strong. It's only possible, he said, by the mercy of Krishna. Therefore, you have to fervently pray for Krishna's mercy. You can't overcome it by your own effort. We try. Mother Yasoda couldn't bind Krishna by her own effort. It's only when Krishna allows. So Krishna can, you know. And he said, and that can be evoked by exposing ourselves to the transcendental sound vibration. We have to hear the holy name carefully and fervently pray for the Lord's mercy. Even Haridas Thakur is praying, my dear Lord Sri Mahaprabhu, please, please release me from the offenses while I chant your holy name so I can be absorbed in the actual rasa of Nam Seva. By the mercy of the Lord, mercy of Mahaprabhu, mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which manifests in the form of Nityananda, which manifests in the form of the Parampara, which manifests in the form of the Sankirtan movement. Only by that mercy. There is no other way. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama Eva Kevam. Simple as that. There is no other way. Everything else is there to support that way. They're also important. Otherwise, you won't be able to move forward. But the process has to be done, and environmentally as best as we can. Therefore, Prabhupada wanted us to have farming communities so devotees could live in a natural, more natural environment together, and with, you know, Krishna conscious environment. Even growing, even the food you eat, even everything affects you. All this plastic food which we're eating. You know, everything affects the consciousness of the living entity. Not to speak of non-vegetarian foods and all the other stuff. It's Kali Yuga. It's all designed, and the monetary system, everything's designed just to distract you from Krishna. So we have to take shelter of the holy name as much as we can. Is that okay? You all right? You're good? Jiva Prana is our temple president, but he's working. He works every day. Have you met our Advaita Hari and Aishwarya? Shyam. They're from Bengal. They're living in Mayapur. They've come here to Paris. They're very rich. They've come here to help you build a new temple here in Paris. Okay. They're building one in Mayapur, so now we're going to build another one similar to the one in Mayapur. Okay. You have to buy 5,000 acres of land in the center of Paris. Yeah, there's a big park, Jardin de Luxembourg. There's nothing going on there. You can buy the park and build a massive palace there, you know, for Radha Parasishwar. Is that okay? It's a holy place. Prabhupada gave initiation there. He gave initiation in the park in the city here, Prabhupada. 72? 70, I don't know what year. 1, 2, 3, I can't remember. Holy place. Prabhupada walked in Paris. There are places where he stayed, places where he spoke. He even went to the Hotel de Ville is like the what do you call it in English? Huh? City Hall, the City Hall of Paris. And there he spoke to the vice mayor or something of Paris. He spoke to him. They met there. He met many important people in Paris. Yeah. We have a large Bengali community. You can stay here now. Just cancel your ticket, stay in Paris and preach. Okay? Easy, right? Talk to them afterwards. We'll even provide a better, if you agree, we'll provide a better room to they're staying in the Egg Hotel. Living in the egg. It's like staying in an egg. Isn't it? It's like being in an egg, a plastic egg. Everything's plastic. Plastic toilet, plastic bathroom, plastic everything. You stayed in there, huh? You stayed there? In the Egg Hotel. Didn't even know. It's the hotel at the end of the famous Egg Hotel, at the end next to Ocean. Never stayed there. You haven't lived. You've got to stay there and then you really appreciate the temple here more. That's the one way of it. It's a hotel at the end. If there's no room here, everyone stays there. I've stayed there a few times. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanandi, have a great day.